Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on another Wuthering Waves video. We are playing Wuthering Waves, and I wanted to go over this new Depths of Illusive Realm. I've played it for a pretty decent amount of time. I've got through about halfway of level 3, and my first impressions was very positive because I missed the concept of Illusive Realm. I really do, but now that it's settled in with me a little bit, and I've had some time to think about it, I wanted to give my honest thoughts and go over what the community thinks, because the community is really not happy. Like, they're really not happy, and it takes a lot for the community to not agree on something. I will say, I don't think this is the worst thing ever. I think there's parts of it that I like more than the original Illusive Realm, and there's things I absolutely dislike more than the Illusive Realm, right? So, there's been a couple Reddit threads. This one actually apparently got locked. So, first time I'm thankful for the skip button exists in this game. Apparently, this was about the Illusive Realm, and they said that they had to lock it due to brigading, which is insane to me. So obviously, seems like people are very on and off about this. But this is a Reddit thread that is not blocked, so hopefully we could read this in peace and tranquility. So this one says, "There's so many things I don't like about this new Illusive Realm that I feel demotivated to even give feedback," which is crazy. It is actually insane, by the way. So, I didn't think it was that bad. There's also a lot of false equivalencies going around comparing this exactly to the ZZZ TV mode. I'm just going to nip this in the bud real quick. Also, can you get a fat shout out for Gib? What up, baby? The reason why it's not exactly like the TV mode is because this mode is 100% optional. The TV mode, when the game launched, was in every single activity. So we need to stop these false equivalencies. It's just very weird, kind of annoying. Who are you? So yeah, the false equivalencies. I understand the concept conceptually. This might be ZZZ. It is not exactly like that. But anyways, let's continue. So I don't get why, after so much time has passed, we get basic web browser event. Even the 2D textures are low resolution. Look at the cube speed racing event, or even the fishing, even UI, where those are at least good looking. But from this event, I was expecting so much more. They didn't even bother making the 2D space high quality and polished. I kind of don't care about the 2D space. I think there's more fundamental problems wrong with it, but fine, whatever. I understand the sentiment. I see why they're trying to do, which is to give us event focus on progression like roguelike, and they achieve that. And it's not that they failed the progression. The progression to me does feel good in this new Illusive Realm, but the quality of this entire thing is very low, and it feels like a low effort, like my friends did in 2D web browser. Bro's goated. He apparently can goat shit in 2D. I can't do all that. As for gameplay, the worst part is that with this the worst part of it is that with this new overdrive and no quick swaps, we're constantly in alt animation. While in combat, we are constantly being stopped and forced to watch thousands times of alt animations that are the same every time. Am I autistic? As for gameplay, the worst part of it is that with this new overdrive and no quick swaps, we are constantly in the alt animation. While in combat, we are constantly being stopped and forced to watch thousands times of alt animations. I guess he's talking... Yo, welcome in, Daniel. I guess he's talking about your Concerto companions. I guess maybe they're talking about the Concerto comparisons. But I'm pretty sure that was the same in the last one, so I schizoing out a little bit. They probably didn't play the old Illusive Realm, so again, that piece of... I think it's fair to say, hey, for the Concerto people, I don't want to see their alt animations. I think that's a perfect criticism. I actually have that criticism. But it's the same thing, so I don't know what bro's talking about, but okay. The thing that I hope they would do the most in this way is expand the 3D space map so we can explore more of the world, seeing how interesting some of it is. I think that's fucking stupid. And on top of that, they inserted walls and walls of text. They need to be able to... You should be able to skip all of the text with one click of a button. That's it. I don't care. I know there's going to be people who want to read the lore and stuff, and I love that for you. I genuinely do. I'm not there for the lore. I'm there to get the fucking and be some ass with Gion. You know what I'm saying? That's a big point of contention I have. Ali, good morning, love. Good morning, boys. NS, good morning. So much time has passed in all of this. Do people really give feedback for things to look at this, to look like this? It does feel like Koro Devs has so much potential, which surprised me as to why things look the way they are given. yada yada yada. The pressure feels good, so it's not like the IR is quite bad. It's quite okay. Yeah, I think overall it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do think Kuro has this tendency to come up with a really good idea, and they miss a couple things on the first iteration, and then they're gonna fine tune it and drop it. Now, the only thing I think they've taken a massive L on is WuWa, but they've fixed it over time. Here's my thought, right? And we're gonna get into a couple of other tweets and whatnot. I personally think, number one, if it is going to be an hour plus long for some of these, because this shit is long, these film progresses can be long. If you go to watch films, I'm in a challenge already, but it says 30 minutes to an hour or whatever. The rewards are kind of buttons. The rewards are kind of stinky. For the amount of time you have to sit again for about 600 asterite. Now, if these rewards reset every 2 weeks, it's fine. Sure. But the game time is pretty long, right? Yeah, so if these reset every 2 weeks, and I think this is fine, but I don't know if this is going to reset every 2 weeks. I don't know. I believe they said that some of these won't reset, or some of these rewards are going away because it's like the standard or the premium rewards. I don't know. This is supposed to be for 68 days. And if this is all they're giving for this fucking game mode in 68 days, I think that's kind of whack. I'm just gonna be honest. I think the rewards are bad. Make it a 2-week cycle. Now, gameplay wise, there is quite a few things I think they should do, right? So if I'm talking like feedback, I think the first thing I would love them to do is bring back echo skills. Dude, being able to evolve your echo into something that was really dope, like Crownless, bro, just go in and go, like that was dope. But the fact that like the echoes are kind of useless here to me is weird, because I really like the fact that if you go in, I'll just go into my film real quick. If you go in, you're able to have your advanced kind of tech with the actual characters. Like, it'll give you still the 3 buffs you can pick. They'll still give you the cards you can pick. But then I do really like this buffing system where, what do they call it? They call it the bond membership. I actually really like the bond stuff. Yo, also, what's good, Snap? How you feel about the welcome in, man? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I personally like this bond system. I like this bond system a lot. I like the fact that you have this on top of, like, let's say if I'm running Johnson, she has her enhanced perks on top of any of the metaphors that you get and stuff. I think that's actually really cool. Someone brought up a good point in my chat now that these characters don't really synergize with each other. Well, I mean, maybe some of the bonds don't necessarily always synergize, but I don't know if that's necessarily the worst thing in the world, because realistically, they're not on field. So I don't know. That I'm kind of iffy on. I don't know if I really particularly care about that, to be honest. But like, this one is coordinated attacks, and all these people synergize with coordinated attacks. So I don't really know about that one, if you want me to be honest with you. But with that being said, I think the gameplay mechanic is cool, but like, we need like a 2 or 3 times speed here. I think this is cute. I don't mind it. I really don't. But like a 2 or 3 times speed, and I think this is so much better, because it does take a large amount of time out of your fucking day. Like, straight up. Like, not to be a dick, but like in the old Illusive Realm, I felt like just running through the windows and the walls and stuff. Like, yes, that was super simple, and I feel like they wanted to kind of make it a little bit more unique here. But this is also just taking up so much fucking time. Like, this is just taking up so much time. Now I'm gonna finally get to a fight, and then when I eventually get into the fight, I'm gonna do this. I'll kill it real quick, and then I have a bunch of dialogue I have to go through that I don't care for, and I have to consistently spam skip. I'm good, right? I think they could absolutely adjust that and make it a lot better. I think the progression feels a lot slower in this game mode as opposed to the other game modes. Like, with Illusive Realm, it could take you maybe an hour to play, maybe 40 minutes, but it took you 40 minutes because of the amount of encounters you were having. This one does feel like it's taking 40 minutes to an hour because of all the little things you're doing before the encounters. Now, a lot of people are saying it's easy. I have not finished difficulty 3 yet, but I can tell you I have not struggled with this game mode at all. I think conceptually, it's really not bad, but if they do the 3 times the board speed, you completely skip the dialogue, you change the rewards a little bit, I think that is honestly going to help out quite a bit. This shop is like whatever. I think this shop is fine, I guess. Um, but I do miss the echoes. I miss the echoes, and I kind of wish there was an alternative where there wasn't the board, right? I think WuWa's kind of thought process was, well, the people who want original WuWa, Depths of Elusive, have fantasies of 1,000 gateways. And this is my girl's AJ account, by the way. That's what's at level 30. I just hate this game mode. It's just like a lackluster, elusive. So I think in their mind, they're like, okay, we give you fantasies of 1,000 gateways for the old elusive, and then for the new one, we're gonna give you this. We're gonna give you the Dreaming Deep. So a little bit of a misplay, on their part. But I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think they could have simply brought back OG Illusive Realm, new instances, new locations, new buffs. I think they could have added the bond system. I think it would have been fine. Realistically, I think they kind of just did extra. I think they did extra because they wanted to justify bringing that other game mode to make this one. And this game mode should still exist. I think this could exist, but I truly do believe they should bring back the old elusive, right? I don't feel the same level of excitement going into this game mode, even though I like the combat. I really do like the combat of it. I don't feel the same level of excitement because I know, okay, I got to jump through 35 fucking hoops to get to a solo dungeon fight, right? So that to me is like the biggest miss. Now, I don't know what other people are saying on Reddit. I've read it already. You fucking pathetic. Let's see what they said. It just feels like a big case of them trying to fix what wasn't broken. They learned too hard in the cube events, which is such a silly idea. But to have more than one event based off of them just kind of sucks with the visual gag. The fact that there's the Elusive Realm was gone for like 3 patches, still hasn't come back when it was in a very good state before it left. I get that they want to improve it, but it's taking months and hasn't been fruitful so far. Just sucks because I played IR daily before it was taken away. I think Elusive Realm was the best thing WuWa had, by the way. I guess people are unhappy because the whole anniversary was not something we all expected WuWa to deliver. I think overall the anniversary has been pretty mid. I thought this could be the saving grace for it, and I think it has potential, but I do think there's I don't want to say there's more negatives than positives, but it just doesn't feel like elusive. It doesn't feel like an anniversary system. It like the rewards feel lackluster. It's slow. It's very, very slow. It's a very big time investment. But I do like the multiple ending aspect. But again, I get discouraged of even trying to get the multiple endings because I know that I'm going to be here for 5 hours. Like I'm good, So yeah, you know what it is. What do they say? It's so bad. I don't think I'll be able to finish it and get all the rewards. Don't worry, it's only 600 asteroids. Hit me up. I'll give you 600 asteroids. It's a grindy in a terrible way. I didn't even know how they managed to make combat event bad like this. Again, I think the combat is fine. I really don't mind the combat other than the echo issue. I don't know. Does anyone feel differently on the combat? I think the combat is fucking solid. I really do. I really, really like the bond system. And I like the fact that every time you purchase a character, they're used as a playable option. So instead of locking in, let's say, just Donjin, let's say you start off with Rover, you get Jinxie and Chang Li, but then if you run across your Donjin, every time you purchase Donjin, you could still select her specific upgrade to make it so that way you can play the unit. That I think is a massive positive. I think that's fucking amazing. I really do. I like that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yo, welcome in, Epic. How you feel? Can we get a fast shout out for Epico as well? So yeah, I think that's fine, but I think overall it's everything outside of the combat. I think they overdid it and added stuff nobody asked for, making it a worse version of the original IR everyone was asking for. I read it all at once, but since you have to do the same story multiple times to get a different ending, it's just very tedious. All they had to do was make people happy, was bringing the original IR back with new characters, echoes, metaphors, some little rewards, the reset or so. Yeah, I think that's valid. The 1,000 gateway modes I fucking hate, but whatever. I just hope they take the critique to heart and change it to the original. But since there's still stories to tell coming in the future, I think they could fucking bring back Illusive Realm and still keep this around. I think that you can keep this for people, especially if the rewards are only going to be fucking 600 asteroid for 68 days. Fucking keep this and just bring back old IR. I definitely overhyped this when it came out. I overhyped it because Illusive Realm was my favorite thing and WuWa still is my favorite thing. But I will have to say, yeah, it's really not as good as I thought it was. The combat is good. If this game mode had the straight shot going through 15, 16 floors, I think it's better. But since it doesn't have that, nah. So yeah, I'm not going to say it's a false equivalency. It's not the same exact thing as the ZZZ TVs, right? I think I understand that perspective. but the ZZTVs were mandatory to do everywhere, you could just fucking skip this event. So that's my thoughts. With that being said, mwah, I love you. I'll see you in the next one. And by the way, the word of the day is a boba because I'm always right about everything.